the unconscious, wow, it's a quantum universe in which all reality is there in an implicate way. Carl Gustav Jung puts it this way: when an inner situation is not made conscious, it appears outside of you as fate. So that which you repress, that's what you divide, that which you try to cut off. Nature has a higher plan. Remember we talked about the tragedy that visits you? Yeah, that's the plan. The plan is that the unconscious is made of the same thing nature is. So fate will work against your inauthenticity. Thank God it does. I wish it didn't come in the form of pain and tragedy and sorrow, but it does. Therefore we have to then enter into a new relationship with those dark guardians. Or continue resisting it, which continues the repression, which continues the fate. An endless circle, you see, of problems. And it's really never more true than today, you see. Now we look at man and his world. How his mind does create his reality. Well, Plato said it. States are as men, they grow out of human characters. The great Thomas Paine. To understand the nature and quantity of government proper for man, it is necessary to attend to his character. He goes on to say, the more perfect civilization is, the less occasion it has for government. Because you're self-governed. What do you need leaders for? Benjamin Franklin said it in this way. He said, only a virtuous people are capable of freedom. As nations become corrupt and vicious, they have more need of masters. All pointing to the fact that what's in your inner constitution, your inner republic, will manifest externally. Erich Fromm, whose book we looked at earlier, and I want you to note these scholars, note these authors, these sources that we're referring to. He says that in addition to sadism, the passion to destroy life and the attraction to all that is dead, which is called necrophilia, is true meaning of the word, seem to develop in the new urban civilization. Right? Mind affects the world, world affects mind. It becomes a feedback loop. What is above is below, is the old Hermetic adage. He says that death is no longer symbolically expressed by unpleasant smelling feces or corpses. Its symbols are now clean, shining machines. But the reality behind this antiseptic facade becomes increasingly visible. Man, in the name of progress, is transforming the world into a stinking and poisonous place. He pollutes the air, the water, the soil, the animals, and himself. He is doing this to a degree that has made it doubtful whether the earth will still be livable within 100 years from now. As your psyche becomes more toxic, so does your outer world. It'll become axiomatic to us. Freud understood this deeply. Again, the psychologists have to pick up the pieces of all of these souls. So for Freud, the historical process is essentially tragic. The more man creates cultures, the more does he frustrate his instinctual drives. The more unhappy and neurotic does he become. We talked about the trauma. In my work I've always suggested that out of that trauma was born the ego. What we know today to be waking ego consciousness is the product, a recent product, an infantile, childlike troubleshooting and problem-making, problem-creating circuitry within our consciousness. Of course, the ego is particularly oriented, like a lighthouse light, to the external world. It's not really oriented towards the inner world at all. And we have to thank the ego for also saving us. Probably we would have a complete psychosis given what happened in ancient times. William Barrett, in his book Irrational Man, which is a book on existential philosophy, he says, so long as we remain in the womb of this externalized and public existence, we are spared the terror and the dignity of becoming a self. So again, we've lost ourselves in the light.